Hey guys, what's up? I want to talk about the race card, and I think it's important. I don't cover this topic very often, but I'm going to let you know I have a black friend, and it's absolutely true. But we're not going there because a lot of people will say, oh, you say you have a black friend, but who cares? Because some people are still racist, and that's absolutely true. I'm just going to talk about my personal history regarding having relationships with folks of varying skin tones. When I was in grade school, St. Aloysius Grade School in West Dallas, one of the first African American girls joined the school and became a student. And I was so excited. Her name was Cecilia. And we became fast friends. Why? Because we were two peas in a pod. Just one of the funniest, nicest girls I've ever met. She was boisterous and fun, and she just had this charisma. And so her and I hit it off. And of course, in high school, we had a few, I don't think we even had African American children in school, in high school. And then college, of course, and military. One of my best friends is named Yvette, and she is a goddess. She's the most beautiful African American woman I've ever seen in my life. Um, Moving on to one of my very, very good friends, Jack. He was a photographer for the Journal Sentinel. Um, Jack is his nickname. You will probably not find his information unless you do some research and you know who he is. So, anyways, moving on to a little girl that I am an extra auntie to, mixed. She is half black and half white. And my extra daughter is Mexican. So, I'm not saying because I have a black friend, but I love folks of all different shapes, sizes, and colors. And so I remember when I took this Africology class at UWM, and this is years ago, professor, I think his first name was Ben. I'd have to go back in my records. I remember, and I wrote this down, I remember the class, and it was a mixed class. Africology had to do with primarily when African Americans, it's this history of Africology. I'm not going to pinpoint XYZ. I'd have to go back into the course and look at my notes. But there was an African American woman sitting about 2 rows in front of me. And she said, well, all white people just want to keep black people down. And I shot my hand up. And of course, Professor Ben said, do you want to chime in? And I said, absolutely. And this is kind of sort of what I said. I said, all white people don't sit around trying to keep you all down. I said, at least I didn't. And my grandma, who lived to 100 years old, never said a racist thing in her entire life. That's not what I experienced. I didn't experience racism until high school when I heard that my maternal grandfather had made racially charged comments. And my best friend in high school, her mom, because I had friends who were Hispanic as well, and I like going down to visit, volunteer at the UCC and things like that. And she said, if you want to go hang out with Mexicans, why don't you go to Mexico? So I heard those kind of terms. And I said to this woman in class, I said, between raising my kids, working, paying for a house, I don't have time to keep anyone down. The only time myself and my friends discuss anything regarding a different race is if there is something on the news that catches our attention. In fact, the latest news regarding Rob Reiner and his poor wife who lost their lives, that's what we're talking about currently. Other than that, we don't discuss anything regarding individuals of different ethnic groups. So when I say I have black friends, it's true. I also have white friends, Hispanic friends, skinny friends, bigger friends, smaller friends, taller friends. My husband is Native American. I just know there's certain people I care for and certain people I don't feel safe around. And it has nothing to do with skin tone. before you point fingers at people like me, get to know us. If you have never met a white person that you like, why don't you give one of us a chance? There's certain white people I don't like either, so it's not just you. Why don't you join the club? I'm just kidding. Well, no, that's true, but anyways, that's all I've got. So do I have black friends? Yes. And is that okay? Absolutely. So anyways, I hope you all have a great day and we'll be back.